How to cool down after jiu-jitsu class. So one of the biggest key components to recovery is bringing the heart rate down. So step number one, no matter how the class ends, you need to at least jog or fast walk for 5 minutes, okay? If you had a very intense class with multiple rounds beyond 30 minutes, I would recommend a fast walking pace or a jog at least for 10 minutes. Once we complete that 10 minutes, we're gonna work on 2 aspects to help you kind of stretch and recover and get your breathing pattern back down to normal. One, always focus on breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, okay? If worst case scenario happens and you're having trouble keeping your breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Never, never, ever in through the mouth, okay? It will have an inaccurate oxygen exchange and you will cause your heart rate to stay risen. If your heart rate stays risen, you expend more energy, you will eventually hyperventilate, and you will not be able to recover during the exercise itself, okay? So after we walk for our 5 or 10 minute zone, we're going to now move into our stretches, okay? The 2 biggest things that plague combative athletes are rounded shoulders and tight hips, okay? So I'm gonna show you 2 exercises that are gonna pretty much knock out all that situation. If you can do this every single day after every single class, you'll be light years ahead of the competition. And if you don't have any problems right now, trust me, 20 years from now you will, okay? So, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna focus on not only getting some extension in our back, okay, putting our thoracic spine back together, but we need to stretch the lats, okay? So tight lats can really cause a lot of problems. You can actually be very flexible in your spine, but have tight lats will keep making you do this over time, which is great for fighting, but not great for normal human beings. So we're gonna take a foam roller. You're gonna take one arm at a time. You're gonna take your hands thumb up, get into a child's pose. This is a child's pose like in yoga, okay? I'm gonna thumb up and I'm gonna roll my arm out, okay? Now, if the roller goes past your wrist, you need to readjust the roller out in front of you, okay? I'm gonna start with basically on my pinky and the meat of my hand, and I'm gonna roll out as I drop my chest to the ground. Now I'm gonna drop my chest and my hips are gonna push back. Dropping and pushing back. When I feel like I can't go anymore, I'm going to squeeze my upper back. Don't squeeze this. Squeeze the middle blades. And I'm going to turn and then drop again. You're gonna hold that for anywhere between 30 seconds to 2 minutes if you can handle it. Breathing softly in and out through the nose, okay? So it'll look like this. I'm going to extend and drop down. I feel like I can't go any further. I'm now going to rotate and drop down some more. And now I'm going to begin my slow controlled breathing, and I'm going to hold it from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. I'll come up, relax, and then repeat the process on the other side. Starting at the bottom of the pinky, on the meat of my hand, I'm going to roll myself out. I feel like I can't go any further. I'm then going to turn, squeezing my upper back, dropping back down, making sure I get a good stretch. I should feel it either under my armpit or in my armpit, depending on where you're tight. Hold that for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, and then come back up. Remember, breathing in and out through our nose, very controlled breathing. We're not stretching for new boundaries, just simply getting a good stretch, okay? We're going to then sit down, take our same foam roller, and we're gonna put it long ways. Not sideways, long ways between our shoulder blades. So I'm gonna sit back, and I'm gonna have to push my hips up off the ground so it's not uncomfortable. My head should not lay on the foam roller. I'm gonna let my head tip down. I'm not looking back. I'm letting my head drop. As it drops, I'm going to let myself do what I call an air press, okay? It's the simulation of as if like we were sitting up and doing like a shoulder press. No weights, my arms are gonna butterfly out, stretch the pecs, and move the shoulder blades in and out. I'm not tipping my head back, I'm looking up. You can do this on the mat without a roller, it's not a big deal, but if you do have a roller, it allows your shoulder blades to open up and curve around the roller. All right, one more exercise. Okay, so let's go back to our hips that we had talked about earlier. This is similar to what they call a Bretzel breathing, all right? It's a little difficult to show without multiple camera angles, so let's see what I can do. Bottom leg is straight, okay? My bottom leg is straight. My top leg is gonna curl behind my body, so it looks like this. And I'm gonna grab my foot, all right? I'm going to lay sideways with my head on my arm. I'm gonna take that back leg, that bottom leg, and stretch it all the way. Now you see how my knee's in front? I'm gonna begin to pull back, all right? And I'm gonna slightly push my hips forward, almost like towards the ground. And what I'm gonna do is by holding my foot, I'm gonna get a good stretch, not only in that psoas muscle, but now in my quadricep, okay? So stretching one thing at a time is important, but stretching things all together is also very important, okay? We're all linked together. Muscles are not individual, all right? So head on my arm, and I'm gonna pull back and then push into my hips. I'll hold that for 30 seconds to 2 minutes, breathing in and out through my nose, and then I'll simply start over on the other side and repeat the process. Do whatever you need to do to get into the form and then work your way into the proper motion. Arm is out, head's on. I start way in front of me because it's really easy. And then I begin to pull back. And then I push my hips forward. Hold it for 30 seconds, breathing very controlled in and out through your nose, or 2 minutes, pushing it in, and you can repeat the other side. The more times you do it, the better it is. It is very important after you do your 5-minute or 10-minute walk, when doing all these stretches, that you're constantly controlling your breath in and out through your nose, okay? You can also do the walk after class and then do all these movements before going to bed if you're running late to get back to work or for whatever else you need to do. Just make sure you end up doing them. And if you really want to make a big difference, do it after class and at night before you go to bed. Remember, we are no different from anybody else. We can't sit back and laugh at others and say, oh, they work at a desk job, that's why their posture's so messed up. Every single day you come in here, you're creating the same bad habits as everybody else. We must correct those habits, okay? Over time, it's going to catch up, all right? Don't let your journey all the way to black belt or the world championship stall out for you years later because you didn't take care of your body, all right? This is a great way to cool down pretty much for any class, especially butterfly guard. I hope this helps you out. Remember to get your heart rate back to your resting heart rate. That is how you complete your recovery for jiu-jitsu.